So for my second HelloFresh meal, I am making pan-seared pork chops, which come with broccoli and a mashed potato recipe and a shallot gravy. They suggest that you peel the potatoes, but I actually enjoy mashed potatoes with the peels included. So here I've just put the mashed potatoes onto the stove. I need to actually turn the heat on up underneath them so that they can cook and get to the point where they're ready to be mashed. Okay, so here's the broccoli about to go in the oven. I almost messed this step up because when they give the instructions for chopping up the broccoli and then for chopping up the shallots and the rosemary that goes with it. And I misread it thinking that I was supposed to add some of the rosemary and the shallots to the broccoli, but they're to be cut up beforehand and then used later. So this is supposed to have 12 to 14 minutes in the oven at 400 degrees. The oven is nice and hot, and I'm going to stick this in now. Okay, so here are the pork chops sizzling away in the pan. I put a timer on for this one. It says 4 to 6 minutes. I'm going to actually stick to the timer because it's easy to get distracted doing other things. One of the things I really like about these pork chops is that they come individually packaged. So if, for example, I decided that I wanted to do 3 servings of meat, but do the 4 servings of the potato and broccoli, I could easily do that and still have a nicely contained pork chop to stick in the freezer and at a later date. And that noise was a plate just sitting on an unlit burner. Oh, apparently there was a burner on that I didn't realize was on. Okay, no harm, no foul. I'm fine. The food's still cooking. Everything's all right. Just a little excitement to add to the meal. So here's the broccoli that's been roasted. I'm looking at it and thinking it might be a little bit overdone. Let's just see a little small piece here. A little bit not bad. I think the roasting process helps create that crust on the outside, which makes the whole thing a little bit better. I realize I probably shouldn't use the same fork, but I'm only cooking for myself, and this will go into containers later for me to eat. Okay, so I have flipped the pork chops. And despite the explosion, and it was an explosion of a plate, very fortunate, nothing went into the food, and even more fortunate, no pieces of the plate went into me. So I'm perfectly fine, well, as fine as I ever have been, which is, quite questionable for some people. But I really like this one, the pork chops, and one reason why I might use a little bit extra oil when I cook it is it's got a nice sear, and it's got that nice little bit of a crust on the top of it. So I'm just waiting now for the second half of this to be done, and then it says to transfer to a plate and cover with foil, and I think it'll be in really good shape and ready to go at that time. They suggest using a meat thermometer. I don't have one, so I'm just going to trust basic doneness, and if I put it on a plate and I notice after it's rested there's blood coming out of it, then just toss it back in the pan for a couple of minutes, and it'll be ready to go. Okay. There you have 4 resting pork chops. You can see the steam rising towards the camera, and then I'm just going to cover them with the aluminum foil. So here are the potatoes done. I went more smashed than mashed. I know a lot of people really like the smooth, creamy texture, but I like it with the skins in, and I think this will be quite pleasant. Maybe didn't use enough salt in the water because they don't seem particularly salty, but with the other ingredients, that's fine. And of course, you can always add salt to the finished product if you want a little more salt. Here we have the gravy, and it's just starting to cook down quite nicely. It smells fantastic, and there was a nice mixture of juices from the pork chops after they rested, which have added to the flavor. So I'm really looking forward to giving this all a try. Okay, there's a lot of steam coming off of this, and it makes it hard to try and get the picture just right. If you zoom in here on the pork, well, no, it's really kind of hard with all the steam. This is my portion, so maybe just let it see if I can let a bit of the steam evaporate, or can I come at it from a better, less steamy angle.